Howdy, Liz. It's Mr. Robot. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm very well. I'm so glad you're back. I know everybody's been traveling, and I had the flu for like a month, and then you were traveling. So, summertime, it's busy, and we all just try to link up when we can. What do you have here?
Oh, I know you guys are always sick. It's hard to be not sick when you're near a big population and stuff. Got to take a lot of vitamins. But yeah. Anyways, I've been busy traveling and working and doing a lot of things here and there. So sorry I haven't made it on the channel lately, but I'm always interested in what you post. Yeah. Recently, I was flying. You know what? I was actually over Oklahoma. Let me actually pull up a map on my phone real quick, so I can. I know I kind of semi remember. I always watch the map as I fly. I saw this strange light uh, as I was flying east, and I was like, "Wow, this is so insane! I would love to post show Liz and see what she thinks." I think I was over Woodward, Oklahoma, right about, and this thing was over the clouds. So we were, 35,000 feet up or more, probably 40,000 or whatever. And this thing was a little lower. And what made this so interesting is the dude right next to me, you can actually see his hand.
Hmm.
He was observing it as well. And he was like, I can't tell what that is because he was saying, helicopters don't fly that high. And I even asked the stewardess, I was like, hey, is that a plane? He was like, that's the ground. I was like, that is literally above the clouds. And we are like,
Hmm.
what is that? Like 25,000 miles divided by our
Wow.
feet. Sorry, I don't know. It was many feet up. I mean, many miles. It was we were way above the clouds. And this thing was doing the weirdest, uh, like pattern. It had this orange light and it was kind of like, and I really wish I could focus better on it. The actual craft was more like tiny, and this was like the orange light that it was shining on the clouds. So it was like scanning the clouds, very bright light, very orange, very fiery, and it was very abnormal because I've seen a lot of planes and they're blinking, they're blue or red, whatever, very abnormal color. So I thought maybe we could start our long awaited video with what the heck was that?
It's not a plane. It's not a helicopter. It's not a drone. It's not military. Are you from the US? Not government. Are you an orb? Not an orb.
Oh, can you ask if it was scanning the clouds?
Part of it was taking observation.
So, for reference, by the way, this is the bottom up of the airplane window. This is this dude's hand. He seemed like a very educated individual. He was flying back and forth from. I don't want to give too much information about him, but he was well traveled, and he basically corroborated with me that this seems unusual, and that's, I guess, all I can say about that. But um, can you ask if it was like human made?
Human made? No.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Here's my UFO moment," because it was really bizarre.
Wow. I think you were meant to see it.
Yeah, and that's this first thing that actually popped into my head is, first of all, UFOs literally only show themselves to people recording if they like align with you, because they can easily shift dimensions and whatever. If they know who's perceiving them, it's consciousness times 1,000 when you're at that level. And
Yeah.
I do have a video of it. It will take way too long to download and show, but I'll make a YouTube account and I'll upload it in case anyone's interested. Um, you know,
How long were you looking at this thing?
so okay, so that's what's weird is it was dark out. This was a I don't know, must have been about 3 a.m. in the morning, this flight, and this thing just came into view, and it was just flying over. These are all clouds. It was just hovering, and it wasn't moving, but it was like shooting like orange light, like just kind of pulsating. It was so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't mathematically like patterned, because that's like the first dead giveaway on airplanes is, you know 1 2 1 2 or something, left wing, right wing. It was it seemed organic, like it was consciousness or something. It was very weird, and I'll upload a video online somewhere. But anyways, yeah. So, can you ask where in the universe it came from?
Where did the university come from? Millions and millions of light years away.
Oh, okay. Can you ask if it was aware that I was recording it?
This robot. You were supposed to see that. You were supposed to record it.
And that's as per usual. The universe, we think everything's kind of on a fate time scale timeline where nothing really happens without that divine purpose. Uh, but as a lot of our videos have uncovered is that kind of like UFO alien stuff is outside the realm of the divine and what I would say is natural. Um, so when they say that I was supposed to see it, I feel like they're speaking outside the realm of divine, uh, like life path and stuff. So can you ask them what they mean by I was supposed to see it?
Because they wanted you to broadcast it out to the audience.
Yeah, and that's the catch 22 where they show us cool stuff, and I am more than happy to talk about it because it's very interesting. Um, and then let's just do a clarifying question. Can you ask them if they were above the clouds or if they were near the ground?
Were you above the clouds or near the ground? Way above the clouds.
Okay, and then part of it they were scanning the clouds. Can you ask them what else they were looking for?
What else were you looking for? They were measuring the atmosphere.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys what. When I saw this thing, I just instantly knew. 3 in the morning, 40,000 feet above a random part of Oklahoma. I was like, there is no way this is a flight. It was not. I was not flying over China or something where anything goes. But oh, can you ask if the U.S. military knew it was there?
Did the U.S. military know you were there? No, they can make themselves visible or invisible to whoever they want.
Can you ask if they are in our dimension normally, or if they presented themselves for this video?
No, they presented themselves for this video. Okay, that's. Ooh, it gives me chills. Okay.
Yeah, what dimension do they typically reside in?
What dimension do you typically reside in? It's incomprehensible to the human brain.
Okay. Can you ask them if they're, and this is where I always have kind of a confused perspective with you, is we talk about like, fourth dimension, and then we also talk about another thing. It's called like density. Um, how would you go about this question? Would you think it'd be better to ask them what density or what dimension they're in?
What density? It's like 1,000 something density. I don't even know what that means, but it's far more complex than the human brain, right? They're not bound by the soul and the source dimensions.
Yeah.
They have their own defined dimensions.
Um, can you ask them if this was a spacecraft?
Yes, of sorts, yes. But it can morph into whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. Um,
Are you actual beings in a physical body? No, this is all energy.
yeah. So when they were above the clouds, can you ask them if they were in a physical density?
Were you in a physical density? Yes, ours.
Oh, in our human density, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
3D.
And why would a higher dimensional being care about humans or Earth?
Why would a higher dimensional being care about humans? It's like they want us to acknowledge their power. They want us to acknowledge their presence, their existence.
Okay. Most people do on the planet. I feel like it's only the government that says nah. But can you ask how many life forms or consciousness is were on this craft?
About 200.
And then can you ask if they were beaming their consciousness into the craft or if they were present at that physical location?
No, they were there.
Okay, and then the next question is how big was their craft? Let's just say in fractions of 1/10 all the way up to, I don't know, 1 of like a mile. I mean, was it a small craft or a big craft?
Excuse me. Small craft. It's relatively large.
Can you ask
It
him if
was actually quite far away from you at that point.
oh yeah, it definitely was. And that's what's crazy about it is how far I could tell it was versus how big it looked. Um, this distance between me and here, I'd have to say, just using novice assumption, that it must have been like maybe 4 miles away.
More than that.
Wow, that's crazy.
More like 25.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it was a sight to see, and I actually just sent myself a small video of it, and it's not going to add much clarity, unfortunately. But where is this? Oh, I have to do some weird cloud conversion. Let me just download it real quick. Okay, can you ask these entities if they were using anti-gravity?
Anti-gravity? No. Oh, I can see its movement.
Oh, well, you saw a little flicker here. You know, it was shining. It was very bright.
That is very, very big.
And unfortunately, I couldn't focus to infinity. My phone wasn't cooperating. But I actually think I might have a better video that I'll pull up another time. But anyways, so that was interesting. Any other questions we could think of for them? Are they benevolent beings?
No.
Are they neutral in the terms of evil and good?
Are you neutral in the terms of evil and good? Relatively.
Do they believe in our concept of what do they think about the human soul?
So they want it.
Well, they want their own, correct?
You want your own? Yes. And they want to make copies of ours.
Why are Ask them why are UFOs so interested in the concept of souls?
Why are you so interested in the concepts and so? Because it guarantees that you live on forever and you have a job to do.
But
You have a purpose. You have
aren't they above? So being a higher density, they should have bypassed the like death problem. You know, they can repair their. You know, so we take antioxidants. You know, they just modify their DNA or make a clone of themselves. Uh, Ask them if they live forever right now.
You live forever right now? Yes, but with no real purpose, no real I can't explain what they're saying to me. They do not possess any DNA.
Yeah, so they're mostly non-physical.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Ask them if being non-physical is kind of a boring state of being.
Is being non-physical. Yes, absolutely. They wish that they had our abilities to reincarnate, to go through experiences, to enlighten, ascension, all of those things.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, can you ask him if humans are unique to that process or if there's other beings in the universe that do that as well?
We are the only beings in the universe that do this.
And can you ask him how many other types of beings there are in the universe? Just
Millions.
and do all the millions in the universe envy humans?
They want a soul, yes.
And I'm thinking of who I could pull in for the second question. It's hard because a lot of these entities and souls and whatever you want to call them, they all have very opinionated to their like timeline to like when they were present.
Well, let's ask them this question. What would you do if you had a soul?
Yeah,
Kill it
because
and
they
make
want to
it their own.
because they want to reincarnate.
Because you want to reincarnate. No, it's all really about a sense of purpose. And also a bit of a free will. But I'm saying we really don't have free will down here. And they say we're aware of that. And I'm saying, but what, free will to design your life? Yes, that's what they want. But where do they come from? They didn't just magically appear in the universe.
Right, they've been there.
We didn't magically appear in the universe, right? We were part of source and we
Right.
were cut from source. So were you cut from a being? Yes.
What being?
What being were you cut? Demons.
So I always have to wonder, they're looking at like a limited um vocabulary that we could understand,
Right.
and what sense of the words, because by definition we might uh umbrella term this entity under the status of demon being a different dimension being, let's just call it lower dimension. um there's a whole lot of definitions and stuff that I would like to get into one of these days that we can probe. Because I actually, you know what, on this trip when I was actually looking at this, I had this crazy, mind blowing like realization that the scope of our conversation, and this is to be expected when you talk about this stuff, that the scope of our conversation with these things is so limited based on our ideas of how the universe works. And I did have like a moment of clarity where I kind of saw a way bigger picture. Maybe they were beaming that to me. Can you ask them if they sent me like a grander scheme? Kind of like, I just don't. I just wonder if there was a correlation between that like epiphany and like if they sent that to me on that flight.
So clarify that, please.
Can you ask them if they were able to transmit to me the bigger picture at this moment beyond just seeing this, like telepathically?
Yes, that was the idea.
But did they actually share with me, let's just say, a telepathic transmission?
They place the information within your consciousness.
Yeah, so it might have been a few minutes after this or something. I don't remember when. It was so late, and I was sleep deprived and all this. But I literally had a moment where I felt like I understood way deeper the universe than could be expected based on just normal, let's just call it exponential like thought. Like I felt like I understood, like boundaries were broken for a moment. But
Hmm.
anyways, that was interesting. Um, uh, as you know, I could talk about aliens all day. Uh, Anything else you want to cover in this video? I just wanted to say hi to everybody and talk about this crazy moment. Any cool you mentioned to me that you had a question for Bashar. Uh,
Bashar?
you had a question for Bashar, like that you mentioned to me a couple weeks ago, but you didn't tell me what the question was.
Um, God, sorry about that. So much goes through my mind. It goes in, it goes out.
Same.
Let's ask Bashar about this. Who are these? Is this you, Bashar? No, this isn't Bashar in the spaceship. Okay. What do you think this is? This was a message. This was a welcoming, he's saying. What do you mean by welcoming? It's more of an acceptance. We're showing ourselves. We're welcoming. We want you to communicate with us.
Yeah, I believe that. And it's so cool when we can link to other consciousnesses in the universe via you, and we get these confirmations on because uh as you know, with remote viewing, there's, I don't know what you call it, like lines or whatever. Like, let's just say we could pick up on maybe like the wrong information through people's thoughts. Like, what are people's thoughts about UFOs in general, and maybe you could pick up a string of information that doesn't like relate to what actually happened. But we like to confirm with other consciousnesses. So can we confirm with Bashar that this was, let's just say, a true UFO?
Yes, it was.
Or I
Wow.
guess to expound on that, can Bashar confirm it was like, let's just call it alien consciousness or life forms?
Life form.
Not from Earth.
No.
Does Bashar like these beings? Are they friends?
You like these things? Yes. Yes. Are you friends? Acquaintances.
Can you give us a general description of what they might look like? Do they look like the Greys or like reptilians or anything weird?
Do they look like reptilians? What do they look like? He's trying to show me. They just look like orbs, really. Orange orbs. But they can morph into whatever you want them to look like. They kind of look like, so this thing just morphed for me, and it looks like an ant, like a giant ant.
Weird. Well, and you have a connection straight to these entities, right, too, as well?
To these entities, yes.
Can you ask them if they are related to like our insect life form?
No, we're completely different species. Why did you just show yourself as an ant? So we would have a distinct identity.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask you to have them do us a favor because I know they can do this. Have them roll back their evolution, let's just say a couple million years, and show you kind of what they looked like a million years ago.
A gray rock.
Okay, were they a rock?
Yes, they were a form of stone.
Oh wow. So okay, so they were complex life forms. We need a
Conscious.
geologist. Ask them if they're silicon based life forms.
Yes.
Hmm. Well, so scientists theorize there's actually a really cool way to look at this, and it's actually so beyond me, so I'm not going to do it any justice. But let's just look at a table of elements. Okay, we are. What are we? Carbon. Okay, so carbon. Let's see. What is it? Let's see where hydrogen. No, that doesn't make any sense. Um. Yeah, I don't remember the theory, but basically, here's carbon. We are a carbon life form. And that's why I said silicon, because I think just this being in this vicinity, I don't know. We need a chemist, but can you ask them if maybe, I mean, just for instance, are they krypton life forms?
Krypton life forms. No.
Yes, I've only heard the term silicon-based life form, but nothing else is really ringing any bells for me. Can you
You
ask them
do
if
you
they're
know,
radioactive?
are you radioactive? Extremely.
Well, I have a cool idea that is not very related. Um, can you ask them if the element 115 has anything to do with their success in evolution?
Yes, and beyond that number.
Ask them if they use their thoughts to create new elements.
If they use their thoughts to create new elements?
Yeah.
No, these elements are already out there.
Okay.
That was interesting.
But do they need do they need a, I don't know what it's normally called, but like our version is called the Hadron Collider. Do they need a atom smasher to create these elements, or how does their technology work?
Yes, they do. Do you have that technology? No, they can do whatever they want. They can manifest whatever they want with their minds.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's kind of what I was touching on, because Bashar mentioned that the way that their race makes spacecraft is they think of a higher dimension, and then all of the parts kind of start self-assembling, and then they just phase it into this dimension, and it's like that their crafts are actually dual dimension. That's why they're indestructible, because the fourth dimension, let's just say, or fifth or whatever, is kind of like protecting it, because like, if we were to shoot it with a third dimensional bullet, you're only hurting one part of it. And the higher dimensional aspect of it is like it's blueprint. So it's like trying to harm a blueprint. It's a concept. It's going to keep healing itself. Can you ask Bashar if that's accurate?
No,
Ask him if it was the self-healing part that was inaccurate.
self-healing part. Is that what was inaccurate? Yes.
In regards to their spacecraft.
No.
So let's just confirm with Bashar. Do they create their crafts in a higher dimension?
Yes, significantly higher.
And then can you ask if their spacecrafts are within several dimensions at the same time?
We can go wherever we want to go. We can project whatever we want to project. We can be in physical form, energy form, whatever, chemical form, water form. We can do whatever we want.
Well, on that note, can you ask him what form there is of existence that humans aren't aware of?
Water, rain. He's showing me water. We can be raindrops if we want to be. We can disguise ourselves as raindrops, and you would be infiltrated by aliens and alien consciousness, and you wouldn't even know it.
Does that happen on a regular basis?
Does that happen on a regular basis? No, but it has happened before. Millions of years ago.
Okay.
Were you the ones that got rid of the dinosaurs? No. Were you the ones that flooded the earth? They flooded the earth before.
Can you ask him if they were the reason there was a Noah event?
No, source was the reason for that. This evolution picture,
Yeah.
that is accurate.
Well, yeah. So I mean, there were Neanderthals and stuff, and then there's that missing whatever, right? Missing link, I guess. Evolution.
Right. But I've come across that many times in the CTT,
Yeah.
where we are amoeba, we're energy, and then we become like some sort of amoeba, and then we're grass and trees, then insects, then fish, then land animals, birds, and then we start getting into more complex animals, and then eventually we evolve into apes, monkeys and apes, And then from that point, we start evolving, we reincarnate into a more human like lifetime.
Yeah.
So I've gotten that many times with the CTT.
So something kind of neat that always comes to mind when I think of evolution is Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. Have you seen the movie?
No, I'm kind of scared of stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like you don't watch any alien stuff. So
Mhm.
what made this so interesting is like kind of an old film. They find something on the moon and they're excavating it, and I don't know. Long story short, they find out that it was the reason for like humans to start accelerating. Going from like monkeys and turning into like humans. Because as soon as the monkeys were next to this or whatever, or apes, or sorry for anyone who's very literal on which one it is. I'm not a zoologist, but um, you know, in the movie, the apes are around it, and then all of a sudden, one like picks up a rock and like sees it and like comprehends that he can use it as a tool. Actually, in the movie, it was a bone, and he uses the bone to whack another monkey,
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like these undertones of like human essence, our innate evil or whatever you want to call it, the potential for evil, I guess, in humans, um, through knowledge, right? It's the Adam and Eve, the apple of knowledge. I think it's kind of like a direct parallel. But anyways, yeah, it's a good movie. Check it out. Um,
We definitely evolved in that way from
oh
apes and monkeys to humans.
yeah, oh yeah. Can you ask Bashar if it was more so source or more so alien, like, or aliens that sped up our evolution?
Which one is it? Aliens. I don't know what you mean by that question.
Well, let's just say the natural rate of evolution is like a million years per like cycle of million years, whatever. I don't know. Let's for the sake of conversation, say it's a million years, million years, million years. But the missing link theory is that there was a dramatic jump in cranial size. Our brain size just popped, and we started thinking way deeper. Probably started creating very uh uh what do you call it, like um just like the earliest forms of society. And I mean, there's always alpha males, and you can argue that's a form of like politics. But I mean, at a certain point we started thinking deeply, and that's the question, the missing link. Did aliens jumpstart our evolution to make it much faster, or did a source do it?
Aliens jumpstart. Yes, I feel like aliens did.
And was
Certainly,
that
that's what they're taking the credit for. Let's ask source. Did you jumpstart? Did aliens jumpstart the evolution? I feel like it was a combined effort in the universe, and of course, aliens are part of the universe.
yeah, exactly. We always talk about them like they're outside of this, but even though they're not a part of the good side or whatever you want to call it, it takes the yin and yang create the full circle, right? So, anyways, yeah, there was just a jump in our records of fossils. We had these, you know, let's just say ape-like skulls, more protruding, and then we jumped to a very normal-looking, typical head, as kind of my understanding of it, which I guess you could portray as this. Yeah, look at this, so interesting. Can you imagine? Oh my god, Planet of the Apes. Have you guys seen that? It's kind of scary. Imagine going into like a wormhole. You think you're going back to Earth, and I don't know. I forgot the plot, but let's just say you landed back on Earth and it's ape society. That'd be kind of scary. Um, or I guess that was actually a little bit different story.
Let's ask this question. Are there, are there ape-like beings that are aliens in the universe? Yes.
Yeah, is there a Planet of the Apes?
Was Planet of the Apes a download? Yes.
Okay, so when we talk about stuff like this is where I think of parallel universes, where let's just say there's a parallel Earth with fish people, right? Is there a parallel Earth with fish people? Maybe Bashar might know.
Is there a parallel Earth out here in the universe? Yes. I've never heard of that theory.
Well, I mean, the concept is just parallel versions. Imagine a tree. Each branch is a version of reality. In the version of reality that we're in right now, we're on the left branch where humans got the edge, and then the branch took a right, and it created a parallel reality where fish got that advantage. Because you got to think of it like that, like we are just apes with that advantage. What if fish got that advantage?
But Source is saying that they're lying to me.
About the ape planet, or in general?
The Earth, the parallel Earth. There's only one Earth.
In our reality.
In all realities.
And is Source accounting for parallel existences?
No, there's no parallel. According to Source, there's no parallel existences. It's only one existence.
Can you ask Seth the same question? Because from all of our videos, we found that Source will only give us the answers based on our reality. Does Bashar, sorry, not Seth, does Bashar think there are parallel realities?
Do you think that there are parallel realities? Multiple parallel realities, Bashar is saying.
Does Bashar
plug in your computer?
Yeah. Does Bashar think that there are let's just say a parallel reality where there's like fish people?
Is there a parallel reality where there's fish people? No.
Or where a different species that we're familiar with reached our same height of evolution?
No, our evolution is controlled mostly by Source.
Okay. Can't argue with that. I mean, that's even from Bashar, right? Is that Bashar or Source?
That's Bashar.
I love when they align and and it makes the dog and pony show kind of come together.
Absolutely.
If you want to hit pause, I'm just gonna run and get my pause recording, and I'll get my charger real quick.
Okay.
Cool. definitely back. Um, the only thing that's coming to mind is something that's uh maybe something to like end the alien talk is. Have you ever read the book called the Martian Chronicles?
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it. No. I'm not an alien person. I'm really not.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'm more of a driving Miss Daisy. Or, like I like novels and things like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I've read all kinds of books, and I just keep going back to sci-fi for some reason. It's just so fun.
Hmm.
I guess that's outside the realm of my typical life. But so what comes to mind is the story of the Martian Chronicles. It's about and it's about how there's ghosts of aliens on Mars. And I just want to touch on that topic. Can you ask Bashar if there are ghosts who are basically dead aliens? Is that possible?
Are there ghosts that are possibly dead aliens? I mean, yes, that's possible, but do they die? I don't feel like aliens die. Can I just throw in a question here that
Yeah,
somebody asked? Somebody actually asked, this whole submersible thing that went on.
yeah.
Somebody actually asked if there were ghosts underwater, like where the Titanic is. So, can ghosts live underwater? Yes, they can. They can live wherever they want to. They can show themselves underwater. And I feel that on the Titanic is what they're telling me, that people have seen ghosts down there before, which is part of the fascination that nobody talks about.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So, to pull in ghosts, we'll skip Bashar. Let's ask Seth from Seth Speaks some ghost questions real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me know when you got a connection to Seth.
I do. They've all been here waiting for you.
The full Monty. And who else is in the sidelines? Is there anyone else that we forgot to mention? Of
Yeah, Jesus is here.
course.
I've got, you're not an ascended master. Somebody saying, well, tell them I'm an ascended master, but they're not. But they would like to be.
And who is that?
It's one of my friends that
Oh,
passed. Yeah.
I
But
thought
they
you
would
were gonna.
like to answer a lot of questions.
Oh wow. I thought you were gonna say Saint Germain.
Oh, right. Because that's a consciousness, actually, not a actual person.
And what about Eridif? Is he hanging out there?
Erediff, yes, I have Erediff. You gotta look. I tell. What is it? Is it Star Trek or is it Star Wars? Where they're in the bar with all.
I think it's Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I just need a cocktail with like some funny stuff in it. I don't know, bubbling and oh, they just gave me one. They're like, Liz, here's a green foamy cocktail. I'm like, I'm not drinking that.
So, um, let's do an experiment. I don't think it'll work, but we love our experiments.
Uh oh.
So I have a camera in my house, and reality, what is it? Who knows? But let's just say Bashar can take a mental image of this alien gallery in your room and transpose the image physically onto my film, and I'll wind to the next shot, and then I'll develop it and see if we get a bunch of aliens on the film.
Can you do that? He said he certainly tried. That's a cool experiment.
Cool. Yeah, tell him it's right there. It's on shot number 20 or whatever. Tell him he owns that picture, and I'll go to the next one, and he can have that shot. And tell him he can make whatever he wants to happen there.
He says he needs a Polaroid.
Okay, I'll get one.
He's joking.
Ah, well, I want to bridge the gap between the psychic realm and the physical realm that we mostly reside in here on this YouTube channel, because it's all fine and dandy, but at this point, all we can really say is this for education or educational entertainment purposes only, right? It's who knows what's real, what's not real. But if we can start bringing some facets of their potentials, like for instance, Seth, it's written in the book. He did some very weird stuff to prove that it was real. He made a hand come out of Jane Roberts' hand just to prove that they can manipulate reality. So,
Yeah, I don't let them take over my body. Did other people see that?
well, so yeah, it was Jane, her husband, and their close friend. They all were standing in front of a mirror because Seth was channeling through Jane, and he said, "Face the mirror and observe," and ask Seth if that's an accurate account.
Yes, she does trance mediumship. I don't do that. That's very dangerous.
But can you confirm with Seth that he manipulated physical reality in this experiment for Jane so they could see it was real?
That is correct.
I'm still sad I didn't see Bashar. We did an experiment. Anyone can click the video. It's called Mr. Robot's Experiment. And I tried to have Bashar show himself to me. I was outside. But, I'm still
I,
salty.
I don't think it's in your life path for Bashar to show himself to you.
Sure, yeah, any alien, any cool alien out there that's cool and not mean, who wants to find the life path to, show me how to make $1 million real quick or something. Could you totally come by?
Yeah.
That reminds me, there's a really cool account, and we actually kind of debunked them, I think, which is super sad. And it's so hard to find the information. I feel like it gets buried deeper and deeper every year that goes by. But there was this person who had all these accounts of going on the ship with her alien friend, and there was photos of like Earth that she took from the spaceship. And one thing that was really cool is the alien gave her this weird ray gun, and she tried it out, and it like shot a hole through all these trees in the forest. Can you ask Bashar if he knows what I'm talking about or referring to?
Yes, he does.
Can you ask him if that was a real alien interaction or if she was making up that stuff?
No, that was not real.
Yeah. It sucks because the pictures are insane. She must just, who knows, been using the Hubble or something. But maybe Bashar can actually touch on that. How did she have pictures from outside of Earth's atmosphere that would only be possible on a ship?
It wasn't outside of Earth's atmosphere.
So she copied the images from somewhere.
Yes, I feel like they were made, like graphic artists made. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, so that would be cool. Oh, there's okay. So there's this channel. It's called Third Phase of Moon. It's pretty interesting. It's an alien channel. They find people who have been abducted, and we can end on this note because I think it's probably one of the most interesting parts. And they had this person who had been abducted, and they were telling their story. and they said that they put him in this like mating room kind of thing, and that because they were trying to get our DNA and stuff, and that the alien transformed itself into like a famous person, like Angelina Jolie or something. Can you ask Bashar if that's possible or if that happens?
Yes, it is possible. I'm like, why do you need our DNA? And they want to copy us. They want to be like us.
Can you ask Bashar if there's, what do they call them? Abductees, if their stories are accurate about seeing these, well, they see all their children, they see, that they apparently go up into these ships often. Can you ask if Bashar if those accounts are true?
Yes, but they go with their consciousness, not with their physical body.
Hmm. And are there humans who have half human alien hybrid kids, babies in space?
Not yet, but that is a goal.
So that's the common thread. If all the abductees, they all say, "Oh, I saw all my kids," and it's like this huge emotional experience because they feel like the connection to them because they're their kids. Halfway, and every time they leave the ship, they kind of erase their mind and they don't really remember much about it. But that's the common denominator on abductee stories. So I think we should do a video on that some of these days
Oh, most definitely. I would be very interested in that.
to see if they're all accurate or except for some crazy stuff. We actually debunked one of the biggest known ones, so that was pretty interesting. It was the one that was on Netflix. This guy had all this information about all this alien stuff, and I think we basically got that it was not real or not true or something. So we'll touch on that in that next video too.
Yeah, that'll be great. Just remember, Mr. Robot does Reiki. How do they get in touch with you if they want to do Reiki sessions?
Yeah, so the easiest way to book with me is to go to myhealing.site. And I do have someone talking to me from overseas asking me how this works. Uh, Distance doesn't matter when you know how space time works. We're all connected, we all share the same fabric. So I transmit energy to anyone, at least on Earth. I haven't tried with anyone else outside of Earth. So the healing phenomenon is just as powerful in person or at a distance.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that you did Reiki on me, you did Reiki on my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the clients that I've been giving readings to, you did Reiki on them. They enjoyed it. So, you are very good at doing Reiki.
Thank you. That's so awesome to
Yeah.
hear. I enjoy it. I stopped doing the half sessions, and I now only do full sessions, just because of the amount of energy that flows. Uh, I feel like it's just more worthwhile for everyone to just get a full session. But if people have a very specific preference to only meet for a short amount of time, just shoot me an email. Let me know that's your preference, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, this is great. And guys, just a quick reminder, just an announcement. My regular price readings, my regular price CTT sessions, that calendar will open up sometime in August. Just so you know, the VIP is open, and the paper readings are really, really good options. So if you're booking a past life paper reading, I'm not just going to give you your past life information. I actually go in to the past life and I ask Spirit to give us information of, something that pertains to your lifetime now that's linked in the past life, and that is something you need to heal and work on. So a lot of times people are finding with these past life readings that they're in this repetitive pattern and they understand it. When I'm sending the information back, they're like, oh my God, Liz, I totally get this. So it's not just about, well, you were Joan of Arc in your past life, or you were this, or you were that. It's not that kind of reading. It is basically finding something that is really needed, the information to uncover so that you can heal. Anything else from you, Mr. Robot?
Um, I guess I'll just say that I do like the paper reading format, so I think that's cool that you do that.
Oh,
Because
thank you.
that's something I think that can help you get more readings done in a timely manner. I actually have done a couple Akashic readings in that style, and I each time was completely blown away by how well the information was given to me, and I've learned a lot of stuff about my life plan through Akashic style readings, and I have a feeling that people will get the exact same benefit doing that with you, obviously.
Yeah, because what we do is, oh my God, that just scared the life out of me. Did you hear that noise?
Yeah,
Oh God, it's my neighbor's dog. She comes to visit. It's kind of late, it's dark
cute,
outside, and she just jumped in my window and she's she's crying through my window. I was like, oh my God, the aliens are here. They're coming to get me.
right?
Oh
Hilarious.
goodness me. We better turn this off. She's looking for a treat. I better throw it out the
Cute.
door.
That's
That
funny.
scared the life out of me. Something always happens when I talk to you.
Well, and then when that happens, though, you got to assume maybe a spirit sent you that moment, you know?
Well, spirit sends moments all the time. Exactly. Just like, although the aliens and the UFO presented themselves to you on a spiritual level, you were supposed to see that. So not only was that an alien consciousness, but somewhere in your life plan, you were supposed to see that, and spirit orchestrates the life plan.
Can you ask why spirit would want a human to see like an alien event?
Oh, because it expands the consciousness. It's reassurance that what we are doing here in a physical body is very, very small to the
Yeah,
bigger picture.
totally. I agree 100%. I know, because sometimes I get kind of a little bit of doubt that, all the weird stuff I believe in, might just be kind of crazy. And then I'll get like the most insane, deep level from the universe, like pretty soon after, which uh, verifies my belief that the universe literally hears your thoughts. So,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
you know,
Your
people,
thoughts are not private. Your thoughts are picked up by anything in the universe.
yeah, it's just interesting that I have a very direct line of communication with like the orchestration of events in my life, and it's every time, and it's constantly reminding me that it's basically all planned, and it's pretty bizarre when you have a deep understanding like that. It's really,
Absolutely. Well,
it's really
thanks
like